All right, everybody, on behalf of Professional Title, I want to welcome you guys to the 5 things you need more of to finish 2021 strong. And we're going to do a bonus 6th tip to make sure that you start 2022 off with a bang. Most of you guys I know, those of you that I don't by now, my name is Ryan McHugh. I work with Cindy and Kent at Professional Title to help you guys grow and build your businesses. If this is your first time joining us on Zoom, welcome. We do this every Monday at 12 o'clock. So always reach out and be chatting with Cindy and Kent so you can get the links and get in action. We also do in-person events all the time at your local markets. So we have a couple coming up. We have one coming up Friday, brought to you by us and Lifestyle Realty in the Daytona Beach Chamber of Commerce. And we are working on a Claremont event in the upcoming weeks. And then we're going to start some new classes and some new things on, or actually in the 4th quarter. So looking forward to some fun stuff that we have coming up. Those of you that I don't know, my kind of claim to fame was running one of the top real estate teams, the top team in the state of Florida for a long time. Did 400 plus closings a year, multiple years in a row. We were the #1 team in the state of Florida and number 11 in the world in terms of units. I also ran a really big real estate office and took that up to about 200 agents. So I like just doing this kind of stuff, teaching and training and helping agents big and grow and think bigger and all that fun stuff. So this is an interesting kind of topic today that we're going to do, because all the things that I share with you guys, I'm going to give you the 5. And then, like I said, the bonus 6th tip to finish the year strong. What I want you to do is at the end of the class, I'm going to ask you to put which one you're focusing on or which one you want to work on in the chat, so that you have a purpose or a drive here for the rest of the year to make sure that you finish up strong and have a plan. So without further ado, let's dive in here. 5 things that you need more of in 2021 to finish strong. So number 1, more education. And I want to kind of debunk this one a little bit, because a lot of times, we teach classes, or I teach classes, or I go to classes or whatever, and you always find the people in the classes that are the eternal learners. And nothing wrong with that. If that's you, no judgment, right? But usually these are the people that are in every single class, but they're never taking action. And what I want you to focus on is that if you are thinking you need more education in something specific, and I'm going to give you a couple examples in a minute, one of these is for you, but make it something that you can learn, that you can take action on, not that you're just learning just for the sake of learning. As we know, real estate is evolving and changing all the time. So you're never going to learn everything, right? And it is always going to change. If you don't know this already, the contract is changing again over the coming months here. It's actually already out for the pre-review, but it's changing October, November. Usually changes every year, every 2 years or so. So, knowing every inch, every line of it is not always the most important. You need to know, obviously, what it takes to serve your clients and what the things mean. But you don't need to be able to recite the contract backward and forwards. And I already see what's going to happen is people are that the excuse for the end of the year is going to be, oh, I don't know the new contract. I just know that that's coming. So when I think of more education, these are the things that I think of. Are you learning a new lead generation strategy? Or do you need more education to find a new lead generation strategy that's going to work for you? Do you need to learn how to make more or how to make better content? With the world that we're kind of living in now, social media is big, right? So you might need to learn how to create better content, or how to do more of it, or where you can put it, or what you're going to say. You might need to learn how to make more contacts. That's a skill that I think most real estate agents need to learn, right? That's the education they need. They need to learn how to make more contacts, because at the end of the day, most of us are just not making enough. You might need to learn social media, right? A lot of people say, oh, I'm not into it, I don't like it. Guess what? It's here to stay. It's not going away, and your customers are on it. So if you're not already up on social media, you need to learn it, right? Some of you have been to my social media class that we've been traveling around doing. If not, if you haven't been there yet, you have an opportunity this Friday in Daytona. Looking like next week in Claremont. We have a couple of opportunities coming up with social stuff that you want to make sure you get on. You need to learn technology leverage, right? Technology shouldn't be hindering your business. I always hear people saying, oh, I'm not techie, or I don't like technology, or whatever. You need to learn that technology is your leverage. So it could be as simple as the CRM or the platform that your broker provides for you, or your office or your company provides for you. It might be something simple like our app. If you're not on our app already, there's a bunch of leverage in that with technology to leverage with buyers and sellers, how to calculate closing costs, how to calculate payments. All those things are available pretty easy. But the most important thing, like I said, is if you're looking for more of something that you need to learn to finish strong in 2021, for some of you, it's going to be education. So make sure you learn something that you're going to put into action, that you're going to put into play right away. Number 2, more consistent action. That is something that we all probably need more of. But whenever I'm kind of training or working with newer real estate agents, I think this is the most important one, besides leads, of course, which we're going to talk about later. But more consistent action usually will solve most people's problem. I try to get all the agents that I work with to do these 5 things every day. And the truth is most of them don't. And the ones that don't, you can always kind of draw it back to this as where they're missing in their success plan. So if you notice, all 5 of these things, like I said, I think should be done every day. Number 1 is script practice, or practicing your presentations or role playing your presentations. Right? If you know every day you're supposed to be making calls and you don't practice what you're going to say, or write a script or read a script or work off of a script, it's a good chance you're going to mess it up, forget it, fumble it. No matter how many times you've said it, you need to be script practicing every day. Even if you're an absolute master and you call expireds every day, first 15 minutes of your lead gen time should be practicing that. Presentation role plays. How many people, just say yes or no in the chat, how many people have practiced their listing presentation or their buyer presentation on not a client? So either on your dog or just practiced it this month. How many people have practiced your buyer presentation or your listing presentation this month? Be honest, put yes or no in the chat. I'm very curious as to this. And if you haven't, no matter how many deals you're doing or planning on doing, you're missing out, right? This is something you should be doing every day. We used to do this once a week. We would have a day with all of our teams where we would practice the presentation, whether it's a recruiting presentation, a buyer presentation, a listing presentation, an investor presentation. Your aha here might be that you need to have one in general, because you might not have one, but you need to be practicing it, right? Every time you know you're going to go on an appointment and you set a listing appointment for tomorrow at 2, you don't want that to be the first time you've done it in a while. You should be practicing this thing at least. I mean, I would love it if it was once a day, if you went through it really, really quickly, but it should be like at least once a week. Number 2, if you're looking for what you need more of to be successful in the second half of 2021 here, the end of 2021, you need more lead generation, right? This is something that needs to be on the schedule every day, no matter what. And I know some people teach you to do it 3 hours a day, and that's great, but most people are not going to go from 0 hours a day to 3 hours a day. But what you need to do is more consistent action with lead generation. Every day that you decide you're working, you need to be working on generating new leads. Number 3, lead follow-up, same thing. Every day that you're working, you need to be following up with old leads. So are you taking consistent action with lead generation and lead follow-up? For most people, the answer is no, right? And then when you look at their deals or their bank account, you can directly trace it back to not doing enough of number 2 and number 3 here. Number 4, you need to be negotiating every day, because that means you're working on deals, right? And if you're not doing number 4, or you have no one to do number 4 with, then we need to do a lot more of number 2 and number 3. And number 5, face-to-face appointments. That should be something that we're doing every single day. We should be going on face-to-face appointments every single day. You guys chose to be in a people business. You need to go where the people are, whether that's lunch or coffee, or a buyer appointment or a seller appointment in their house, in your office, at the bar, at happy hour, at Starbucks, whatever it is. Are we going with face-to-face? Are we going on face-to-face appointments every day to give ourselves an opportunity to actually build some real estate deals? And on this one, the more consistent action, we used to have a rule on our team that every day you did 20 contacts, or you set 2 appointments, whatever comes last, right? So at the end of the day, you would look at this, and if you made 20 contacts, but you didn't set any appointments, well, then it's time for more action, right? We need to keep going until we set appointments. And if you really we're looking at what you need to do more of to be successful and close out 2021 strong, I guarantee for most people, it's this slide, right? It's doing these things more consistently, making sure practicing scripts every day, generating leads every day, following up every day, negotiating every day, and going on face-to-face appointments every day. We should be able to do that pretty easily and still have a life, by the way, right? You could do number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4, like all before lunch, very, very easily. And then one of your face-to-face appointments could be lunch, and then one of them could be dinner or coffee or a listing appointment at night or something like that. So you could do these and still have a pretty decent life pretty easily. and be way more consistent, which will lead to more consistent, predictable income, which is always a plus. Number 3, people need more leverage. And I know we have a mix. We have some people on here that are brand new, and I see some of you guys that I know are selling a lot of houses. And for those of you that are selling a lot, very often more leverage is what you need more of. So when you feel you're doing all you can, you need leverage, right? We always used to have a rule on our team and in my offices that if something happens twice, it needs a system. So that's why system is number 1 for me here, right? Agents, think about this, right? If you are using internet leads or doing internet leads or buying leads in any way, obviously you're going to get more than one, right, over a period of time. So it's happening twice, so it needs a system. So what does your system look like when a lead comes in, right? How do you follow up with them? How do you get in touch with them as fast as possible? Do you get a notification that tells you, okay, it's time to call them? Do they go right into your CRM? Are they automatically put in your CRM? Do we automatically connect with them on Facebook or social? Do we send them an email? Do we have a template follow-up? What do we do? What is our system that allows us to be better at it and be more consistent at it? Right? Leverage is always one of these 4 things. And a lot of times you can look at these things and not always have to think money. Most people think leverage means money, and it doesn't always mean that, right? A system can be 100% free. I want you to think about a model. Also, a model could be free. Some people find a role model, and that's their person. They find someone in their office that's selling more than them, or maybe a team or a local business that they want to kind of emulate and just model their business off them. What do they do? What does their marketing look like? What does their plan look like? How do they work on a day-to-day basis? The other models you can think of are some of the simple ones, right? There's like a lead generation model that some people follow, which just means like basically all my problems can be solved by lead generation as long as I have enough, right? So what does my model look like to generate 100 leads a month, 200, 500? Some people have an economic model, which is money driven, right? They say at the end of the year, I want to make X. In order for me to make X, I need to go on Y number of appointments and set Z number of appointments. Nice and easy to work backwards on a model like that, right? Just based on what you want to make, what you want to earn. Some people do like a budget kind of model where they just look at it, the business as a business from financial terms, okay? And they say, okay, bird's eye view here, I need to spend some money from this check here, some here, some here, some here, some here. And they pay the different people or the different things that allow them to get their business and their income to where they want. And then some people follow like an org chart kind of model, right? Where they say, okay, if a lead comes in, I want someone else to call them. I want someone else to show them. I want someone else to close them. So it's just all people, right? A tool, leverage can be a tool, right? So let's use an example like our mobile app, right? If you don't use our app already, that can provide you leverage in terms of figuring out closing costs, figuring out monthly payments, figuring out marketing, creating social media posts, all those things. A tool can be leveraged. In our case, it's free, right? But then there's also paid leverage tools. It might be a CRM or a piece of technology that you use. It might be an auto dialer. So let's say you're someone that likes making phone calls and manually by hand, you can dial, 30 contacts an hour, right? And then you need leverage to improve that. So what do? You buy a tool like a Mojo or something, an auto dialer that takes you from 30 dials dialing by hand an hour to 100 dials dialing by computer or by tool, right? So that greatly increases the number of dials, which obviously increase the number of contacts, and all those things go up if you're leveraging. So that could be free or could be paid for, right? And then a person is always really the best form of leverage. And for some of you guys, if you're brand new on the call or if you're newish in the business, your first piece of leverage should be like a transaction coordinator, right? Someone that does the paperwork, the compliance, gets you paid, does all the crap that needs to get done to get it closed. But a real estate agent doesn't need to do that. You can have someone else doing that. And then some of you that have bigger teams or bigger offices, your piece of leverage might be an admin, right? It might be a systems person. It might be a marketing person. It might be a buyer's agent. Might be a new agent to your office or to your team, right? We always look at these things. And when we realize, all right, in one space, we're doing all we can or we're doing all we want to do. So we need more leverage to close the year out strong and start next year good. We need to look at that and say, okay, so what do I need? Do I need a system? Do I need a model? Do I need a tool? Or do I need a person? And I will tell you, everyone on the call, myself included, because you could use one of these things today. And probably we could all use a lot of these things quickly in our life. And again, they all don't have to be paid for, right? Obviously, a person, you're going to pay them for their time, but the other things could all be free. It's just a matter of figuring out which one makes sense for you. Number 4, more leads. We need more leads to close this year out strong. And I think over the last couple of weeks, I've seen people starting to realize this as the market is just slowly starting to cool. I don't want to scare everybody, but I am lucky enough to travel the whole state and work with all of our offices all over the place. And we're seeing it all over. Every market, orders are down a little bit. Listings are down a little bit. We're starting to see price reductions here and there, which is something we haven't really seen in 2 years, right? We're starting to see days on the market go up a little bit. We're starting to see deals fall apart because of appraisal or, money issues, which always means, all right, if it's going to slow down now or flatten out, I don't think we're going to have a problem. Personally, I think it's just going to flatten out a little bit and normalize a little bit. But that means things are not just going to fall in our lap like they have been for the last 2 years. We need to generate more leads to make things work. NAR released this thing the other day that I thought was interesting, that across all lead generation methods, they said their conversion rate, or on average realtors conversion rate was between 0.04 and 1.2% is the average conversion across all leads. And so at the end of the day, the truth is you just need more, right? Some of you I know work on a strictly referral basis. So you meet one person, or maybe your brother, your sister, your spouse, your friends, your neighbor, whatever wants to sell or wants to buy, and it's a warm referral. So the conversion is like 100%, right? Or very close to 100%. They just say, hey, Cindy, I want to sell, and you're my only choice. So you don't have to do much work to convert. But what most people do is their business is a mix, right? They'll grab a couple of those, but to really drum up and grow business, they're doing things like cold direct mail, cold call, cold door knocking, internet leads, and these numbers are really bad. The conversion rates are bad. And when I work with agents kind of planning out what they want to make, they're usually blown away that the number of deals they need to do to make the money they want to make is very low, but the number of leads they need to generate to do the number of deals they want to do is very high. So I actually did this on Saturday. I did a little intro business planning thing with a couple new agents in my area. And almost all of them, if you don't know this, most new agents, almost all the time, they'll say the number that they want to make until they've made it is 100,000, right? That's kind of what they always start with. So we did with this guy kind of a real life breakdown of what it would actually take to do that. And we found that for him, it would only take 15 transactions, which really isn't that much, right? That's 1 a month, and 3 months of the year you get lucky and do 2. So not that much work, not that much to do to be able to earn 100,000. What really he thought was really crazy was when we broke it down. I don't remember the number exactly, but we figured out he needed somewhere between 6,700 and 7,000 leads to actually make that happen. And that's where he almost threw up, right? Because he looked at that and said, oh my God, I can't believe I only have to do 15 deals, but I need that many leads. And here's why, because when you look at conversion rates, right, if you had 7,000 leads, only 20 to 25% of people ever really answer the phone or actually talk to you, right? So having 7,000 leads really only translates into like 1,400-ish conversations, right? And then you start working the numbers from there. And to get down to 15 deals, you're going to need to put together about 18, 19 deals, which means you're going to need to go on how many appointments, right? Probably 40, close to 40 appointments. So to get those things to work, we need to look at the number and really focus on getting more leads. One of the teams that I work with regularly, we've really been tracking their internet leads like crazy and their conversion rates like crazy. And this is a team that has a full-time set of people working leads, and their conversion rate, and they know what they're doing, by the way, like they're good, is 126 to 1, 126 leads to turn it into one deal. That's their average. So when I ask most real estate agents what they need more of to finish 2021 strong, I look at their business and it's almost always leads, because they don't have at least 100 leads per deal that they want to do per month. So if you want to do one deal per month and you're not generating 100 leads per month, you're pretty much not even giving yourself a fair crack at doing that, right? If we know the conversion rate for a good team is 126 to 1 and you're not generating at least 100 leads, you're just not there, right? You're not giving yourself an opportunity. And you need to think of what you need or how you need to do this. And at the end, I'll kind of give you guys the opportunity to pick which one of these strategies you're going to focus on, and then we'll work on it a little bit. But for most of us, I know it's leads, right? Pretty much every problem you have in your real estate business is going to be solved with lead generation. If you need more buyers, great, generate them, right? If you have sellers that are saying, well, I don't want to sell yet because I have nowhere to go, you can generate leads to find where they're going to go, find that off market, right? And you can help them and you can solve that. If you don't have any sellers right now and you're looking to generate sellers, you could start attacking FSBOs, expireds, old expireds, circle prospecting, right? There's something with all these that will get you there. And number 5, I know all of us need this, right, is more follow-up. We all need more follow-up if we really want to finish this year strong. Only 2% of sales are made on the first attempt. So follow-up, that means gets 98% of the sales, right? 44% of people give up after only one attempt. And these are the people that generate a lead and then run back into the office on Monday and say, oh, that lead source doesn't work, right? It's not the lead source not working, it's the agent not working. Only 8% of agents will try 5 times or more. And we know that that's where the deals are getting done, right? And one of the keys is following up within the first 5 minutes, because it's going to give you a 9 times more likely chance to actually convert that. So what I want you to think of is, if you're going to choose follow-up, when I ask which one of these you're going to do, if you're choosing follow-up, I want you to think, do you have a day of the week that's set every week that's your follow-up day, right? It might not be Monday, because maybe Mondays are a little crazy for you because you come back from open houses or showings or putting deals together over the weekend or whatever. But do you have a day a week where you say, listen, I'm going to sit in my pajamas or go sit at the beach or at Starbucks or somewhere that I'm comfortable for the day, and I'm just going to do follow-up all day. I'm just going to call people and talk to people that I already know, or that I've forgotten about, or maybe leads that I thought, died off or didn't answer for a while. I'm just going to hit those. Do you have those follow-up tasks set every day, or at least one day a week? And the other thing is, are you following up across all mediums? So if someone reaches out to you on one platform or on one way and you can't get them there, are you trying something else, right? A lot of people I can never reach on the phone, right? Or they just won't answer the phone. And then I Facebook message them and they answer me in 2 seconds, right? Or I can't get them to text, or I can't get them on email. I go on Instagram and send them a DM, and guess what? 1 second later, they answer. Right. So think about that. If you're trying to follow up with people and you're just hitting your head against the wall over and over and over with the same source, if you can find them on something else, or if you have access to them on something else, use that to be able to follow up. And bonus tip number 6, this is really for you to set yourself up for a good 2022. And of course, I'm doing this tip, 1, obviously, because I really believe in it, and 2, to kind of start teasing classes that we have coming up here, because I think this is really important. The people that work really well and get their year going really well, they business plan early. I am an early business planner. I like doing business plans in October and November for the following year, so that you have time to actually build the business plan and deliver it, right? They say it takes 66 days to form a habit. So if you build your business plan in October and November, you have that habit built and running before the year starts, or as the year is starting. So you hit the ground running on January 1 instead of business planning on January 1 and already having a dead month of the year and having to hit all your goals in 10 or 11 months. So, tip number 6 is, again, a setup for classes that we have coming up, because we're going to be doing business planning clinics like nonstop, October, November, and December, all over the place, in small groups, in classes, in big groups, however we have to do them. So make sure you get to them when Cindy and Kent are pushing these classes, because we're starting to plan the days. The way I like to do my business plans, and you'll leave these classes with that, is that they're 1 page and they have 1 goal on them. That's it, right? And I personally don't like doing goals based on income, because I find agents chase the income all the time, and they'll say, well, I missed my goal this month, but don't worry, next month I'll just sell a bigger house, right? And then by the end of the year, they have to sell a $2 million house to catch up and actually hit their goal. That never works. Units are also tough, because you really can't control the number of units you do, right? You can't force someone to buy a house. There's nothing you're going to say or creative script you're going to unleash on someone that's going to force them to buy a house. I like building my business plan based on number of appointments, because that is something I can completely control, right? I can 100% control how many appointments I go on and how many appointments I set based on the number of contacts and the number or the amount of effort that I make. So I like to build business plans with people based on number of appointments. If you like any of the other ones, it's all good. I also, if you've done these with me before, I like to really, really, really push on making sure people are focused in only on 3 lead sources. And that for 1 year or 9 months, while they're really in action, they're really going to throw away their other lead sources. And I'm going to push you guys to do that when we do this business planning class. And then I'm going to make sure you have 5 action steps for each of the lead sources. So exactly what does it look like? And you're going to leave with a 1-page business plan that is going to ride you through the next year to make as much money as you want to make. So when you see these things in the 4th quarter, in person, on Zoom, who knows where we're going to be doing these nowadays with COVID stuff again, but we're going to do them wherever and however we have to. So when you see these, make sure you get with Cindy and Kent and get to them so that we can get you a really solid business plan made. So in summary, again, I'm going to ask you guys at the end here to type in the chat which one is yours, and then I'll stay on for some questions and stuff. But in summary, if you're looking to finish this year strong, which one of the 5 are you going to focus on? Are you going to focus on education? Do you need to learn something? Do you need to learn a lead gen strategy? Do you need to learn a piece of tech? Do you need to learn social media? Do you need to learn something to be able to do more deals? Number 2, consistent action. Do you need to take consistent action on those 5 things that we talked about? Script practice and role play, lead gen, lead follow-up, negotiation, and appointments. Number 3, more leverage. Do you need more leverage in your life? Do you need a system, a model, a tool, or a person to finish this year strong? Which one do you need? Right? I know I need a person. I need a person badly in my life to help get stuff to the next level. Number 4, more leads. How many leads have you generated, and how many more do you need to generate to hit your goals, right? What do those numbers look like? How many do you need to get to? Number 5, more follow-up. Do you need to book a day a week for the rest of the year and the rest of your career? That's going to be follow-up day, right? Do you need to book an hour or 2 a day? That's going to be follow-up time, strictly just that. Which one of these 5 do you need? So what I'd like you to do is, as I'm wrapping up, I'd like you to put them in the chat and then I'll read it. Tell us what you guys need. Do you need more education? And if it's something that we can do in the form of a class, of course, we'll help you. But I want to see everybody. We've got 20 people on the call. I want 20 answers. Do you need more education, more consistent action, more leverage, more leads, or more follow-up? If you want the replay, I will get working on this. And within the next day or 2, I'll have it ready for Cindy and Kent. So just reach out to them and they will get it for you. As always, we appreciate your business. So thank you, those of you that we are working with, and those of you that we are not yet. Please let us know if there's something we can do to help you to earn that business. Carrie, thank you as always for the slides, making everything look nice. We appreciate it. Coming up 1 week from today, we're going to do quick tips for quick growth on LinkedIn. Last week, I spent about an hour and a half with a guy that is a LinkedIn professional. He's been doing LinkedIn coaching for 10 years. And I spent about 90 minutes with him and got some really great tips and some really awesome stuff that I want to share with you guys, because I know it will help you grow quickly and use LinkedIn as one of those pieces of leverage. So next week, if you want to get better at LinkedIn or learn LinkedIn, make sure you join in for that, because there's a lot of simple stuff that you can bang out seriously in 15 or 20 minutes a day to use LinkedIn as a tool to really grow your business. So we'd love to see you on that. If you're not already in the private Facebook group, jump on there and request it. Just search on Facebook, Ryan McHugh, Real Estate Trainer, Inner Circle, and request to join, and I will get you guys approved. And I'm going to go through the chat here and then do questions. So as always, thank you guys. I will see you next time. Let me see. All right. So Brandy said more education. So Brandy, either send me a message or put it in the chat if you want, if there's something specific that you're thinking that you need to learn or want to learn that will help. Danielle, more leads for sure. Carla, more consistent action than education. The more consistent action will solve the education one. I'll tell you that, right? If you're doing those things all the time. Jenny, learn my CRM that I just signed on with, right? So that would be more leverage, right? Piece of tech leverage. Dave, more consistent action and more leads. So in good news, the consistent action will bring the leads, right? Marina, more follow-up. So set that day, right? Set that day or that set time every week. That's just designated follow-up time, and don't skip it. Don't replace it. Danielle, ramping up our Facebook ad budget. Good. Yep. So that will be more leads or more leverage. Jen, more leads and follow up, right? So if we do the leads first, the follow up will show up. Cindy, follow up. Same here. Kent, all the above. Same here. Jamie, leverage. So we have to look, right? Are we doing this? Do we need a system? Do we need a model? Do we need a tool, or do we need a person? Or do we need all those, right? We can, add in one at a time, but we need all those most of the time, right? Especially you guys running offices and teams and selling and stuff. Everyone that said thank you, you're welcome. Brandon, definitely 2, more consistency for sure. More consistent action. That is going to help. Absolutely. Anybody else? Everyone that said thank you, you're welcome. Brandy, just had to get started and be more knowledgeable of the business so I don't make a fool of myself. I will tell you with that one, that's such a popular limiting belief, honestly, that I hear. Carla, I see you saying me too. That's one that I hear all the time. And at the end of the day, I'll be honest with you, people don't necessarily care how much you know. It's they want to know that you care, right? They don't care how much you know. They want to know how much you care. So you need to focus on just doing what you're good at, talking to people and helping the people. And if there's something that you don't know, being honest with them and just helping them understand that you'll get them the answer accurately as quickly as possible, because at the end of the day, if there's a piece of the contract you don't know, or something about the process or whatever, we'll all kind of help you get through that. But what you have to be looking at consistently is, am I talking to enough people where I can find that diamond in the rough or the needle in the haystack? Because, the numbers are what they are, right? 1 in every, 100 people are going to move every single day. And you need to just be able to find that one. So talking to more people is seriously always step one, right? More leads, because the other stuff will kind of fall into place. And then I know both of you guys are always at classes and stuff, so you'll always continue learning, but definitely get on that action, piece as quickly as you can, because that's where you're going to build the momentum. And a lot of people, they're waiting until they know it all to start doing that. But the problem is, unless you're wealthy, independently outside of this, most people run out of money before they know it all. Right? The contract's always changing. The process is always changing. The tech is always changing. All these things are always changing, that you're never going to know all of it. You'll know some of it, right? But you're never going to know all of it. So we got to get you out there just talking to as many people as possible. Anybody else, any questions? Need anything? Want to share theirs? All right, gang. I will see everybody in person sometime soon, I hope. And I will see you back on Monday, 1 week from today, for LinkedIn. Cindy, you want to tell them the time and stuff for Friday, just so if anybody they can?
So Friday morning, Lifestyle Realty Group, Real Estate Group is hosting us at the Daytona Regional Chamber. They have invited everybody. So if you'd like to join us, it's Lifestyle Realty Group at the Daytona Regional Chamber from 9 a.m. to 11:30. Just let me know, or let Jamie Barkley or Jamie Gallegos know that you want to join us, and we'll have breakfast for, and it'll be a database. It'll be database training.
Awesome. So if you guys haven't been to that one yet, I haven't done that one in a while, right? That was one of the first in-person classes we started doing probably 6 or 8 months ago, whenever, probably right in the beginning of the year, honestly. So yeah,
it was a really great one.
If you guys haven't been to that yet, or if you haven't done the database building class with me yet, try and come to that, because we, like I said, we haven't been doing it a lot either. So I would definitely try to come to that one if you're not already building a really kick butt database. Come check it out. So we will see everybody soon. Anybody else questions or anything? All right, gang. Thanks all for being on. Hope everybody has a good day, and I will see everybody soon.